Hey everybody, hit him with the hind. This is a special edition of Omnibros question and answer. I'm OmniDog, and my guest tonight is Luis C. Carrero Rodriguez,
Hello, everybody.
formerly known as Hardcover Review, now known as Comics Guide 101, original Omnibro. He's OG Omnibro, and he's here with me to answer your questions.
Yeah. It's been a while. Jeez.
It has been a while.
It's been months, actually, since I've been on even close to one of these.
Yeah, it's been a long time, so it's great to have you back.
It's been fun, man. I'm happy to be back. I'm really glad. I'm a little bit buzzed, actually, because I've got like 3 of
Uh-oh.
Yeah, no,
One
I'm
of
not.
these episodes where you're going to be giggling the whole time?
No. That was a bad episode a few months ago. I just popped in randomly. No, this is for those of you out there that are from a Spanish country. This is a coquito, which is basically like coconut, eggnog, and rum.
Oh, it sounds good.
It's really good. It's really good. Omar would know what it is.
I think Gio has often talked about that.
Oh yeah, no. In Puerto Rico, this is the stuff typically in Puerto Rico where people mostly they get buzzed off their butts and they get drunk off of during the holiday season. That and just regular rum. Usually it's like it's an adult drink, but since the legal drinking age nobody cares about in Puerto Rico, you could be 12 years old and you're, I got my
Nice.
It's good, man. It's really good. Hey, I'm glad to see everybody else on the show as well. Questions, right?
Yeah, questions. Fire them at us, people. Let us know if there's anything about books, characters, movies, TV shows, comics, something. We may not have the exact answer, but we'll make something up.
Hey, that should be on the t-shirts.
Yeah.
Omnibroslive. We don't have the answers, but we'll make it up.
That's right. We'll come up with something.
Yeah, it's fine. It's kind of what our president's doing right now. Coming up with it on the spot. What'd you get for Christmas, Jess? Anything in particular?
Comic related, I got a bunch of knickknacks and gigas. I didn't get any books or anything. My daughter got me a big Harley hammer. It's a big with a big foam filled hammer piece head on it. So I go around and I thwack my wife and daughter in the butt with it. Let's see. She got what other comic related thing? Oh, the really cool comic related thing she got was one of those Iron Man masks with the sticker around it that looks like it's crashing through your wall.
Okay.
So I got that. I'm going to put that up in the back cave somewhere. I don't know if it's going to fit in here. It might fit in here. Actually, I think it definitely will fit in here. So yeah, that was a really cool item. Those are the 2 comic items I got.
Anything else interesting?
Let me think. I'm trying to see what's by my chair upstairs. That's really it as far as really cool comic stuff, I think. Like as I said, I didn't get any books. I did get a bunch of root beer. As I told you my earlier before the show, my daughter got me root beer of the month club for 3 months. So I'll get different root beers, 6 different root beers for 3 months. That'll be fun.
That is a sweet deal, man.
Yeah. So that's a good one. Let's see. Oh, I got a working mother box. That's really cool.
Really?
Yeah, Gio first got that and showed it to me, and I said, I have to have that. So I got it for myself and gave it to my daughter to give to me. And of course, when it comes to Christmas, I always forget. So I totally forgot it was coming. So it was a surprise. That's really cool. And then I got a Peanuts box set. So that's like 89 to 90. The Peanuts box set. 88 to 89, 90, 88, 89 to 90. Something like that.
Talking, like Blu-rays, or are we talking about like
the Peanuts thing?
Yeah.
The Fantagraphics reprints.
Oh, those are gorgeous, man.
Yeah, complete Peanuts.
Oh, they're absolutely, those are beautiful recollections of classic Charles Schultz stuff.
Yeah. Let's see, we already have some questions.
Yeah, for real.
What makes you guys experts? It's our show. That's,
I'm not an expert.
we're not experts on anything.
I'm just some jackass that does YouTube videos on occasion.
And I'm another jackass that does YouTube videos.
You do it far more consistent than I do, and you've been putting out some good stuff lately.
Oh, thank you. I haven't done anything since my best of, but I may do something tomorrow. I have to try and think of stuff to keep it interesting. You know, you can't just keep doing reviews.
Right.
I think I want to do an overview of the new Batgirl, and then, I don't know, I guess a review, but, oh, I know. This will be great. I'm going to do my worst comic books of all time and dump root beer on some of them.
Ooh, that's a good list.
Because somebody complained that, well, they didn't complain. They just say, Jess, you're always telling us the best books and I spend too much money. So I thought I'll save people money and tell them bad books not to buy.
Would a certain Kevin Smith be on that list?
He is definitely getting a root beer float.
I knew it.
Yes, you know me well.
Yeah, of course, man. Kevin Smith is going to be on that list. Just gonna take another guess. Neil Adams is somewhere in there as well.
You do know me well. Yes, you do.
It's just hates Kevin Smith. For those of you out there, hate's a strong word.
Hate is a strong word. I extremely strongly dislike his Batman. And I extremely strongly dislike Odyssey by Neil Adams. You are right. I don't like to use the word hate, but boy, I don't like those books at all. And I'm all about positivity. You and I both know there's too much negativity on the internet. So we try and be positive, but I figured this is my one chance to be negative.
It's going to be interesting. I'm actually really excited to see it because you're a very positive person when it comes to books, and you give books a fair shake.
Yeah.
Even when the rest of us are like, that's pretty terrible. You're like, I can see the good in this. I can see what's something like this.
These books with no redeeming value whatsoever.
Right. It'll be interesting to see you thrash a book very, very hard. I'm curious to see that.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that too. Oh no, I still have to get some books in. I have to spend my own money to get some of these books in. Maybe I should just print them off, print the covers off, and say, but I can't dump. I need to have a physical book to dump root beer on. So I'll spend the $3 to buy Cacophony used.
Crouch is asking if we're into European comics. I think you're into the Inkle, correct?
Yeah, I like Humanoids books. I've read lots of Humanoids books. Those are probably, as I look around, those would probably be my primary. Let's see. I have Leaning Girl. That's put out by, I can't see who that's put out by. Leaning Girl and the Theory of the Grain of Sand. I have those two books. Those are not by Humanoids, but they're European. I think most of my European books are Humanoid books. So yeah, I'm not an expert on European comics. I think sometimes they can suffer from not the best translation and maybe a little different sensibility or difference of culture. Although Omar and I just recently got the full set of Manera Erotica, and that translates fine. I know exactly what Milo Manera is trying to get at in those erotica volumes. Those are hidden. Those are in my crossed box with all my crossed out books. Destroy after I die. Don't even look. Just burn it in the fire.
Somewhere right now, Gabe is hoping Gabe is gonna show up at your house. He's like, "Where is it? Where is the box?" Oh my goodness! Somebody asked you about a particular root beer, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Have you had Red Ribbon root beer yet?
Red Ribbon root beer? No, I have not. Where is that? Oh, have you had Red Ribbon root beer? No, I have not.
I don't know about Red Ribbon, but you turned me on to a root beer a few weeks ago. And I forgot the name of it. It's got like the Quaker box guy on the front. He's holding like root beer bottles in his hand. I can't remember the name of it. It's so good though.
The Quaker guy.
Yeah, the Quaker box guy freaked me out as a kid. It's a Whole Foods root beer. They have it at Whole Foods.
Huh.
Whole
I have gotten a lot of root beers from Whole Foods before, so that's probably something that I definitely could have told you that.
Foods root beer. Let's see which one it is. They have to have a picture of it. Where is it? Ah, Virgil's.
Oh yeah, Virgil's is good.
Virgil's is delicious, man. Oh my
Oh, good.
God.
I'm glad you like it.
It was absolutely delicious. Thank you so. Because I was at Whole Foods. Um,
Oh yeah, you texted me about it or something, didn't you? And you said, "Is this any good?"
yeah. I was at Whole Foods, and this was like the one time that me and my fiance could actually afford to go to Whole Foods because we got government assistance because of like the hurricanes and stuff like that.
Whole paycheck.
Yeah, we we got a certain amount of money through like the government assistance program and everything. They're like, hey, here's like $600 in groceries. I'm like, we're going to Whole Foods. We're gonna eat well for once. So we spent a buttload of money on good food. Ugh.
Yeah.
And now we're back to eating at Aldi's and Walmart again. Nothing wrong with that. Just kind of miss Whole Foods.
Yeah, Whole Foods is great.
What's the Flash issue on Jess's wall behind him?
Flash. Oh, let's see. That is the one with Jesse Quick on it. That is Flash from New 52, number 32. This is when they did, those are all the, well, not all of them, but these are a lot of the Bombshell covers, which is what got me into collecting the Bombshells statues, was these Bombshell covers. First, I fell in love with the covers. Then I fell in love with the statues. Now I love the comic book. So it's all crazy. But yeah, that's the Jesse Quick issue of, and there she is, her Bombshell right below her.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now, what Bombshell covers are you missing?
I've got all the Bombshell covers. I don't have all the Bombshell statues, but I do have all the Bombshell covers. Most of them, I think I framed just about all of them. Some I didn't. I framed all my favorite ones, but I did grab all the variants when they came out. That was a long time ago, like 2012.
I'm surprised they don't have a collected edition of just the Bombshell stuff, like an omnibus or an oversized hardcover that has everything inside of it.
Let me look here. They do have, which I haven't looked at.
Because those are really popular.
Yeah, they are. They do have an Art of the Bombshells, Art of the DC Bombshells. So I bet it's in this. Let's look. I'll open it. I haven't opened it yet, so it's a good reference book to see if all those covers are in there.
Now I'm curious.
Me too. I wonder if it's more about the statue. No, it's got all the covers in it too. It's got covers and the statues that came from them. This book is great.
But that's just the art, right? It doesn't actually have the stories inside of it?
No, it does have, it's more, yeah, it's all the art. It's all the artwork.
Oh, that's cool. That's still a cool deal. How much is it? How much does it retail for?
I got this from IST for half off. It was $40, so I paid $20 for it.
Not bad. It looks pretty thick too.
No, yeah, it's really nice. And so it's got all the other covers. There were some man shells that came out, Sinestro.
I like that Sinestro.
And there's a wide variety of covers and stuff in here that I haven't seen before. I don't remember seeing this cover, but it says it's the Bombshells number 10. Okay, from the Bombshells series itself, which I just have the trades of. But this is cool. It's like got all the breakdowns and stuff of the design of Stargirl. So that's really cool. I like that kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's interesting. You get to see really where their work is. Another great book, if you get a chance to pick it up, I don't know if you have or not. The Art of Jock is fantastic.
Oh, isn't it? Okay. I like Jock a lot.
I was at my comic shop. I was at a local comic shop the other day, and they had it, and I flipped through it, and it's just really good because Jock does he works on a lot of movies, and he does a lot
Yeah.
of conceptual artwork for a lot of movies. So a lot of that stuff is in there, like stuff for Dread and things like that. So it's a really good art book.
See, the only Bombshell I don't have is Wonder Woman because I just don't dig her mouth there. It looks like a Joker mouth. It doesn't look like Wonder Woman to me. It looks like she's weird. That's the only Bombshell I decided not to buy.
Yeah, they went a little bit too far with that.
I think so
Laughing gas or something.
Yeah. So yeah, Bombshells. Awesome. I do love my Bombshells.
Yeah, I agree with you though. It's too much. It's like
it's like
It looks like she got hit with Botox in the face or something. Just, I am showering. So, what's your book of the year? What is your favorite book this year that you've read?
I don't have it with me right now. It's upstairs, but it was my favorite thing is Monsters.
Monsters. I never heard of that.
It's more of a graphic novel than comic book. It's a big, thick book. It's upstairs. It looks, the artist made it look like it was drawn on binder paper, like it was a young girl's secret diary. And it's all about how monsters have influenced her. She's trying to solve what she thinks is a murder of the upstairs lady. And it tells the upstairs lady story too. She was a Holocaust survivor and how she had to go through how she made it through the Holocaust.
Wow.
So it's about this young girl's life. She's Hispanic in Chicago in the late 60s. So it's about the prejudice she deals with then. She depicts herself as a bit of a monster, so she has low self-esteem. She goes around, draws herself wearing a trench coat and hat like a detective. She shows up at school one day like that. But it's awesome art. It's all cross-hatched art, but it's just fantastic. She and her brother Dees go to Museum of Art and see a bunch of famous paintings, and she recreates them in the book. It's really good. I think you'd love it. Your girl would love it. I think you guys would love it. It's great. And there's a part 2 coming out that I just found out about. I think maybe in February or something. But this book was great. It was heads and tails above everything else.
Give me one quick second.
Okay.
Apologies.
No problem.
That sounds actually absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, I think you'd love it.
I'm definitely going to check it out. Is it a pretty thick book? Is it pretty small?
It's very thick. It's not real tall. It's I would say it's standard size, really thick. Looks like it's reprinted on binder paper. But I don't think it's very expensive. I think it's probably $35, and you can get it from Amazon for 20 or something.
All right, I will definitely be checking that out. My favorite book is Flintstones.
Ah, great book.
I love the Flintstones, man. I need to get the second volume. I don't think it's out yet, but
the second trade is out. Yeah, it came out a month and a half ago or so.
Did it? Oh man, I'm gonna probably head to Amazon after this. Then I need my Flintstones fixed. Just a brilliant satirical take on everything in the world today, especially politics, gender, and things like that. Just absolutely fantastic. It's one of those books that every time I tell somebody you need to read the Flintstones, they're like, the fucking Flintstones? Really? Like, yeah, the Flintstones, man. That's like, really? Like, just give it a shot. And they go back and they read like the first 3 issues and they're like, holy crap, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it is awesome. You're right. Flintstones was great.
There's that brilliant issue that deals with PTSD that I thought incredibly well done. It was so intelligently done because Mark Russell, who's the author of it, he goes back and he fleshes out a lot of their backstory, like Barney and Fred, and how they came to be who they were and how they were actually part of the military of that period. It's just so good. So good.
Yeah, I think Mark Russell's writing the new Snagglepuss. Is he writing the new Snagglepuss?
Yes, he is. He's writing Snagglepuss as a gay playwright.
Right.
What time period? But it'll be interesting. It's
I
gonna
think
be.
it's during the McCarthy era.
Yes, yes. Was it Riley was the one that really told me a lot about it because
Yeah.
Riley knows a lot about playwrights, and it's based off of an actual real playwright. And I'm super excited to get my hands on that.
Yeah, that'll be great.
What about your
My
biggest
biggest,
disappointment? Do you have one?
my biggest what?
Your biggest disappointment. Do you have one for the year?
My biggest disappointment. That's a good question. That is a good question. Probably something I poured root beer on. I'll tell you, Astounding Wolfman was my biggest disappointment because that was a big, beautiful book. It was expensive, and it's got the Wolfman in it. So I thought, I just thought this has to be great. And it's by Robert Kirkman, and it just fell flat for me. Maybe some other people out there will like it. That's fine. No judgment here. If you like it, good for you. But it was just, I thought it was choppy. It was dull. It didn't take any chances. It was just something. It was nothing new to me. It didn't add anything to the genre. It wasn't a compelling story. I don't know. I could say a bunch more to rip it apart, but it was just a huge disappointment to me. And I actually did pour root beer on it, and people got upset with me saying you could have donated that book. And I'm like, no, that's the point. I don't want to donate this book. It sucks. I'm not going to give this to somebody in a library. Then they'll think that that's a good comic book, and they won't have high standards. So
You to a children's hospital and they call you back. This is actually make the kids more sick. What have you
yeah. What's wrong with you disturbed man? So yeah, what was your biggest disappointment?
I off the top of my head, I can't think of anything. Mostly because like the back half of 2017, I really haven't been able to buy anything because money's been so tight because of like crazy circumstances that have happened and things like that. Let me think. The thing that bored me to tears is actually kind of hard for me to think of. Honestly, I don't have really anything to think of. Most of the stuff that I've been reading has been pretty great. My Hero Academia, My Hero Academia, Hunter x Hunter, Mr. Miracle.
Oh yeah, I heard Mr. Miracle is supposed to be great.
Fantastic. All this stuff. I haven't had money to really try and mess around and see if something didn't click with me or if something really did. So for the most part, it's been a solid year for me. I haven't really bought anything where I'm just like, that was fucking terrible.
Yeah, I had plenty that I was disappointed in.
Somebody said Justice League. I've heard a lot of people trash the new Justice League. I heard that wasn't that good.
I enjoyed it. I think we should be glad that Joss Whedon got a hold of it and cut it up. Think if he hadn't gotten a hold of it and
I was talking about the book.
Oh, Justice League the book?
Yeah.
That's supposed to be awful. Brian Hitch's Justice League? Yeah, it's supposed to be awful.
Hitch is an artist. I didn't know he was a writer.
So. Right. I think this was his chance to be a writer, and I think it fell on its face because that thing, I haven't heard a single person, even, listen to this, even Felipe didn't like it.
That's a damn lot. What?
Yeah. No. Right. No. Felipe didn't like it, and he likes everything DC, and he didn't like it.
Felipe likes the Transformers movies. I love Felipe, but that was like, okay.
And then Omar shafted me into getting Justice League of America by pretending he was going to buy it. And I said, oh, if you're going to buy it, I'll buy it. And then he psyched me out and didn't buy it. So now I'm stuck with a copy of Justice League of America, and it's supposed to be awful too.
Omar did the Puerto Rican pullout on you.
Yeah.
That's terrible, man.
Oh, yeah, now Omar's on there and said I wouldn't call it a shaft. Oh, sure, Omar. Thanks for nothing, laddie. It was like, hey, you should try it. Yeah, it was like, I'm going to try it. You should too. And then he didn't buy it. Frickin' guy.
I mean, for the most part, everything I've heard of the DC Rebirth stuff has been pretty solid all around.
Oh, it's been great. I've been doing lots of reviews on it, and almost everything is universally great. It's easier for me to tell you what's not good than for me to tell you what's good because almost all of it's really, really good.
Have you read Deathstroke? Because what surprised me at the beginning of the year was that Deathstroke actually got a nom for at the Eisners.
Yeah,
Was it good?
I knew zero about Deathstroke other than to know he was like a master assassin.
Mm-hmm.
And I read the first 3 trades, and it was really good.
What?
It was really good, and I knew nothing about Deathstroke.
Huh.
So yeah, I highly recommend Deathstroke, especially if you know nothing about him. This book really fleshed it out. You got to know him. You got to know the man. You know, he's got kids and wives and morals and ethics and lack of morals and ethics. I don't know. He's painted as a very complicated character. And I thought it was really well done. It was a very humanizing book, you know, considering that he's Deathstroke.
Okay, I'll definitely have to check that out, man. You are selling me on this like you sell me on a million other books. Once everything we just got out of the holiday season, which has killed me, like everybody else. So once we get out of that, I'm definitely gonna have to check some of this stuff out. Have you read? Okay, actually, I've been wanting to ask you this because you know who my arch nemesis is. Have you read the new Red Hood and the Outlaws?
I have, and it's awesome.
Bullshit. I'm fucking bullshit. There is no way.
It was so fun. I couldn't believe it.
Just brag. If I order this book off of Amazon and it's terrible,
I'll tell you what. If you order it and don't like it, I will send you your money back.
Okay.
You have a money back guarantee from me that this is a completely new Red Hood and the Outlaws that is super fun, super unexpected, and really well done.
Scott Lobdell.
I know.
Is the writer?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was prepared to hate it.
There's a ghostwriter. Scott Snyder's pulling double duty, he's writing behind his back. Somebody is Sean Murphy who's writing like 3 things right now.
Yeah, I don't know how he did it, but he took the same characters. Now, see, I never read the first one because you so warned me away from it. But this one, I think Ryan Sayce said that he read it and it was really good. Huh. And I think maybe a couple other people even said they thought it was good. So I took a chance on it. Dude, you are going to like it. So I'm not somebody that likes Red Hood. I'm not a big Jason Todd fan.
So he does pretty much a 180 from his New 52 stuff then, right?
Totally. I have no idea how bad the New 52 stuff was, but this is really good.
I'm going to have to check this out. I can't believe that. Wow.
Yeah.
I guess I'll give it a shot. He is my Neil Adams.
Right. I heard that he did not write a really good X-Men either.
Who, Scott Lobdell?
Yeah.
That was 90s, man. Yeah, that was the 90s stuff. I mean, Gabe likes it. I've never read his 90s X-Men stuff just because I've heard it's so terrible. But I've heard through word of mouth, not the greatest thing. Have you read White Knight by Sean Murphy?
I haven't. No, I heard it's great, but I haven't read any singles.
I haven't put it out yet in a collected edition, correct?
Not yet. I don't think it's even on its 4th or 5th issue yet.
Is it delayed?
No, I think it just started. I think it's coming out on time, but I think it just started.
Taylor Brown asks, what percentage of your collection do you think you've read? This is more for you.
This is for me to be embarrassed about. Realistically, I've read 25% of my collection, which is pathetic.
You're a busy guy, though.
Well, I went crazy and bought way too many things in the very beginning of my omnibus hardcover obsession. And I'm just pounding through it now. But yeah, I am embarrassed to say it's 25%. Whereas like Riley's at 80%, something like he's read it all.
Yeah, Riley's somebody that's, for some reason, he's always able to be on top of those things. I don't know how he finds the time because he works a lot of hours.
I'm being called a poser.
Yeah, I don't know where he finds the time.
He's a dedicated reader. He'll take his lunch break and do nothing but read comics.
I can't do that. I need to be at home. I need everybody to, like, my fiance is asleep. The dog's asleep. Everybody's just knocked out. I could turn on a light and I could just relax. I have to be in this certain mindset and mood for it in order for me to read, and it has to be the right time. Because I hate being interrupted when I'm reading something.
Yeah, me too. I need to be in the right mood.
Carl Barks, who's that?
It's Carl Banks, Apollo Creed. No, we're talking to Carl Barks. He's the original, the original Donald Duck artist.
Oh, really?
Yeah, his stuff's great.
I read maybe 50% of my library, but I'm hardcore read everything now. I have to light some aroma candles and slip into a warm bathrobe to. Of course, man.
Who doesn't?
Yeah, I get my little Superman bathrobe. Get in the mood, light some candles.
Yeah, Omar is an expert on Donald Duck, way more than I am. I just know the classic stuff, but Omar knows Don Rosa and Carl Banks way more than I do.
Ooh. Sorry about that, Jess. Somebody just PM'd me about a sale that I have going on right now.
Oh yeah, that's no problem. I think most of the chat is talking about Schizo Cookie right now anyway.
She is awesome. She is awesome. Very good reviewer, and she's a very pretty person as well.
Yeah, she's got those two things going for her. She's smart and she's pretty.
Absolutely. And I can't say anything else for fear that my fiance is monitoring this chat right now. I love you. No, she's very talented, guys. If you haven't checked out her channel, she's very sweet. She responds to a lot of comments, and she's a really solid reviewer. She's Swedish, I think, correct? At one point, we talked about having her on the show for a while.
Yeah, we did, but the time difference was way too. Yeah. We could only done it on a Saturday at 2 p.m. or something our time because the time difference is too crazy. I think there was 7 hours difference or something. Something really crazy.
It was something like that. I think when we were first starting to put this together, were we looking for like a fourth man or something like that, or like a fourth person?
I think we wanted to get a gal on just for a different perspective. And that's right when Francesca left the page, and I don't even know if Schizo Cookie's a member of the page anymore either. I don't see her post. But we reached out to both of them, and Francesca said, I'm not into the hobby anymore. And Schizo said that she just couldn't work it out because of the time difference.
It was too much of a problem, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. Maybe one day we could have her on.
Yeah, she knows her stuff. That's cool.
Let's see. I'm too sexy for my books, J-Rocks. Nice. I will co-host the show with her anytime. John P., no. You have a wrist.
Yeah, no, forget it.
Jeff Lemire's Moon Knight is so good. Haven't read it.
I haven't read it either yet. Oh, you know what? I own it, though. I should read it. I will go. I'm burning through all my Marvel trades because they're so easy to read. So I'll go grab that up and read it.
Have you ever read Bendis's Moon Knight?
Yeah.
How was it?
Wait, Bendis's Moon Knight?
Am I thinking of the right Moon Knight?
I read Warren Ellis's Moon Knight.
No,
when did Bendis come on?
Ellis only had a stint of like 3 or 4 issues. That was
like a 6-issue arc, yeah.
That was fantastic.
Yeah, that was. I don't think I've read Bendis's Moon Knight.
I think Bendis had a Moon Knight run, didn't he?
Probably. This is where I'm not an expert. Moon Knight, I'm not an expert. I know I've read a bunch of Moon Knight, but I'm not a Mark Spector expert.
Did you see that Bendis is going to be doing Superman?
Is he for sure on that?
I thought I saw something in the group and people were complaining that, yeah, he's for sure going to be doing Superman.
let's see. Curtis says there's a 12-issue Bendis Malieve Moon Knight. Ooh, Malieve.
Yeah, yeah.
It was just a retcon of the story. Because he never read Moon Knight. Oh. Jess, how many books do you have, and do you use anything to inventory them? That is going to be my New Year's job. I'm going to inventory all my books. And I'm going to use, wait, it's an app on my phone. Let me see what it is. Not library thing, not book buddy. Those are two things I could use. CLZ Comics. CLZ Comics, right there. In between two things I ignore, Pokemon Go and Mario Run. Grinder. No, it's not Grinder, you jerk.
I don't think most people know what Grinder is.
Omar does, and he's constantly jamming me up about it.
What was it? I had a question back here that I thought was pretty good. Oh, right. If you had to put Bendis on one book, what would it be?
Well, I guess I'd put it on something that hasn't done well, that hasn't been well written.
Mm-hmm. You're a DC Comics editor, and you're like, we got Bendis. Where can we put him?
I guess I would have chosen Justice League because that's a really important title, and it was really poorly written.
He did Avengers.
Yeah. I would say I don't know. I guess it makes sense that he's doing Superman. It's a cornerstone book, and he's a cornerstone writer, so sure. But I would have put him on something that really needed to help because Action and Superman, especially Superman, were both really well written.
Plastic.
I'm just looking at all my DC Rebirth things.
Make Plastic Man a gritty crime drama.
You know what they need to do? They got to get somebody British that's really a good writer to write Hellblazer because going nowhere fast.
You know what? I actually would be interested to see what a Bendis Hellblazer would look like.
Well, I think it takes a British sensibility to make Constantine interesting. Like they had a bunch of British guys, with the exception of, I don't know, who was it? Paul Jenkins or something?
I heard Azarella's Hellblazer isn't bad.
Oh yeah, Azarella's was good. I'm looking at all my Hellblazers now. That's something I've read all of, but a long time ago. I really feel like you need a British sensibility to write that book well. It just was really a muddled mess where it feels like they just don't know what to make of him. They're trying to make him everything, and I think they need to get back to his roots and really conjure up some cool occult stuff.
Yeah.
And make him the jerk that he was, and make him the occult jerk that he was. I don't know. I'm just not digging Hellblazer right now.
Yeah, John Constantine is not your friend. He is not a good guy by any stretch of the imagination. He is an asshole.
Right.
He's a very big asshole. He does some shit where you have to go, wow, you are not a very nice person. And I think that with the New 52 and with Constantine in general just rising up in popularity more recently, especially with that little bit of a short-lived CW show.
That was a great TV show.
It was. He's not a rogue type. John Constantine will fuck you over if it means his own safety.
Right.
So I want them to get back to that. So, and they really need a writer that can do well with that. And I would love if Ennis would come back to the character, because I think Ennis is Ennis, man. You know, I've heard his Punisher stuff that he's coming back to the Max line is good if it hasn't already started.
I haven't seen anything about it, but of course, with singles, I'm in the dark. I really regret being a trade waiter right now with Metal, DC Metal. That sounds like it's the bitchinest comic book to come out in the past 10 years. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, I'm seriously looking forward to actually getting a hardcover of that. I think they announced that we're getting an omnibus of it.
Yeah, Snyder was on Twitter or something announcing that it'd be an Omni, and that's going to be an Omni that I read. I rarely read my Omnis the day I get them, but that's going to be an omnibus I read as soon as I get it.
I read the first issue of it, and I was like, this is batshit insane.
Good. That sounds fun.
No, in the best way possible. I was like, holy shit, this is pretty crazy, and I'm digging the ever-loving hell out of it. So the crazier, the better. You've seen the picture of what's his face, the man who laughs or something like that, the Batman who laughs? How creepy that guy looks.
Yeah, I have.
He's got like the spikes around his eyes. He's always like
it looks so crazy.
Somebody's saying metal blows.
That's John P. He's wrong.
John P. is wrong on a lot of things, except for Howard Stern trivia.
Right.
Was he the one that for a while there would derail the chat and get people talking about Howard Stern trivia?
Oh, now that you've mentioned it, he's going to start again.
That was his thing for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah, he still does it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What books are you most excited for in 2018? Well, Metal, I hope, comes out in 2018, but it probably won't. The Carnage Omnibus is something that the Carnage Omnibus is something I want to read. The Ven Omnibus is something I want to read. I really want to know more about Carnage, so I'm looking forward to that one.
It's Maximum Carnage?
No, it's like an omnibus that includes Maximum Carnage, but a bunch of other Carnage stuff. And I'm also looking forward to the 5th and final Irredeemable, so I can reread it all again and do a great review on it.
Oh, that's right. That hasn't come out yet.
No, I don't know. I think it might be March, maybe. Avengers 2, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Jess, have you come close to probation via 2017? No, actually, my wife has been really, really good. She even bought me a bunch of OmniDog stuff. Let me show you. Let me show you this real quick.
Yeah. I will co-host this show one day and it'll be fucking wrong. Duke.
For Christmas, she bought me this to go outside the door of my library. OmniDog's Inner Sanctum. It's like a mat that goes outside. OmniDog's Inner Sanctum.
That's really cool. I actually want one of those.
She got me an OmniDog root beer mug. She got me something for fan mail that says OmniDog's fan mail.
You need to branch out, man. You need to make it a t-shirt. Hey, you never know. You could probably make it a t-shirt and make a little bit of extra coin on the side.
I don't need to make extra coin off a t-shirt. I'd be embarrassed to put out a t-shirt.
Looking forward to seeing it live. No other collection I've seen or heard of within 50% of mine. Another tour of the OmniDogs. You guys have already gotten a tour of the OmniDog.
Yeah, Matt, if you check my channel, there's a 4-part tour of the whole thing.
Jesus, a 4-part tour. Wow.
Yeah. Well, I had to keep everything under like 12 minutes to keep it interesting. So, and you have to go slowly enough so they can see everything. So it was pretty slow. But yeah, if you check my channel, there's which is OmniDog's Vault on YouTube. Then there's a 4-part towards the very beginning of my videos. There's a 4-parter.
What were your OmniDog thongs?
Thongs? You mean like flip-flop thongs, I hope? Not like thong underwears.
Oh, man. Weren't wearing a robe and a smoke. No, but I want a smoking jacket. I don't smoke, But I've always wanted a Hugh Hefner smoking jacket for some
That
reason.
would be cool to have a pipe and a smoking jacket and just sit around and puff away.
Yeah, the OmniDog smoking jacket. Think about that, Jess. You can branch out. You got the little paw print logo right here and everything. Good idea.
Omar saying, sure, flip flop. Yeah, that's right.
I wanted to check it out too, Matt. Weren't we a road? So you saw Star Wars, right?
I did, yeah.
Have you talked about Star Wars yet?
Not on YouTube. I think Omar and I talked about it privately before a OmniBros episode.
And thoughts?
I'm one of those people who was very satisfied. I thought it was. I loved it. My daughter and I went to see it a week ago Monday, and we both loved it. So I'm unapologetically happy with it. Was it the perfect movie? Yeah. Why not? I thought it was great. It was exciting. It kept the, I get why people wish there was more training for Rey on the Emerald Island or whatever. They had problems with Luke being a hermit. So what? I mean, I thought everything was well written, well acted, exciting. I don't know. It kept us engaged, and I didn't want it to end. So that's a good sign.
Mm-hmm. So what you're telling me is you're not a real Star Wars fan because you like it. I loved it. I really loved it. Honestly, it's my favorite one. To be completely honest, it goes back and forth for me between Empire and this one, but I really loved it, and I loved that they changed so much about the character and everything. And here come the downvotes. Okay. We talked about this before on the pre-show. There have been a god-awful Christmas special, 3 terrible prequels, a Chewbacca movie where you see Chewie with his family, and questionable. And you guys, and a lot of you out there bitched about the last one. And this is where you draw the line.
Oh, the prequels. Don't forget the prequels.
The prequels. This is where you draw the line and say, no, this cannot stand right here. This is terrible. This is where a lot of you draw the line. Really? It wasn't the Christmas special? The Christmas special, don't get me wrong. I love going back and watching the Christmas special every year along with the He-Man Christmas special. But this is terrible. I love this film. I love everything they did with it.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with it at all. And I don't see why people would even try to get an internet petition signed. I don't care if you get 1,020,000 votes. Who at Disney is going to care about an internet petition about something? That's crazy. And I will say, I agree, Samurai Cop is awesome.
Well, Samurai Cop is incredible.
It is great. Samurai Cop is one of the best. I saw The Disaster Artist. Speaking of a great movie, The Room is a great movie. And I saw The Disaster Artist, and that was a really fun movie.
James Franco killed it as Tommy Wiseau, man. That sex scene is hilarious.
I did not hit her. I did not. Oh, hi, Mark.
It's such a fucking good. Franco nailed it. Absolutely nailed it, man. I honestly, I hope he wins an Oscar just so he can show up at the awards as Tommy Wiseau.
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved it.
It was really good. You know, but despite it all, I kind of have a little bit of respect for Tommy Wiseau because of the fact that he went out there, he didn't give a shit, and he did it. It's a terrible movie, but he ended up doing it anyway. So I kind of got respect for him in that sense.
How many of you guys saw Star Wars in the theater in '77? Right here, dude. Right before college. It was the summer right before college, if I recall correctly.
How crazy was that when it first came out?
It wasn't that crazy. People were saying, gosh, have you seen this movie? It's really good. And it got, you know how, well, you wouldn't understand now with the internet, but you had to get buzz. You had to get people coming up to you at parties or you know, around the dinner table saying, hey, there's this movie Star Wars that's really fun. and it sort of just built and built and built on its own. And I don't know that it started out selling box office records. I think it built to that. If I recall correctly, you know, we're talking 40 years ago now. So I was 18 and getting ready to go to college. But it built, and I think it just kind of kept going. It was one of those weird movies where it started out okay and then really took off box office wise. But you had
hold on, let me find my charger real quick.
Find what now?
Charger.
Oh, okay. I did not drop acid for the movie. I have consumed some chemicals, but no, I was totally straight seeing that movie. Did I go to Applebee's first? I don't even know if Applebee's existed back then.
Yeah.
Battlefield Earth? You must be that's a joke. I'm sure that's a joke. Last Starfighter I never saw. Say no to meth. Okay. Yeah, I'm sure that was a joke. So yeah, I saw
Star Wars is no battle beyond.
What's that now?
Star Wars is no battle beyond the stars. If you ever get a chance to watch Battle Beyond the Stars, it's a pretty fun B movie.
I'm gonna my friend that watches movies with me, we're gonna watch The Room this week because there's a special presentation of it in the movie theater, one night only, like January 10th or something, and that's like an interactive one where it's like Rocky Horror Picture Show where you yell stuff out and bring spoons and throw spoons at the screen, and there's a whole couple of pages of stuff that you have to do during this thing. You know, talk about the dress and why she never wears the dress and other stuff. I don't know. It's supposed to be so great. So that's what I'm doing.
Give me 1 second. I'll be back.
What are your thoughts on Ex Machina? Ex Machina?
The movie or the book?
Taylor Brown's talking about the books. The book is great. I love the book. I read it back in singles back in the day, so I haven't I haven't read it in a while, but I loved it. And I need to see that movie. I almost watched that movie yesterday with my daughter, but we saw Deadpool instead.
You should have saw The Room with her.
I don't think she'd appreciate The Room yet. She doesn't have enough movie-going experience to appreciate just how great the badness is in The Room.
So much. Yeah, Ex Machina is really great. Did they I guess tiny spoilers for Ex Machina. Do they ever address the implication that he is gay in the book?
I don't remember that.
They never address it head on, I think.
I don't remember that. That's actually I don't remember them. I don't remember that they addressed that.
I could have swore that he was. Like, it was implied heavily that they never came out and flat out said it, but it was implied he was.
Taylor Brown is saying yes, they do.
Okay, so
just read it today in book 1. Okay, well that was a while ago that I read it, so I totally could have flaked on it.
God, Ex Machina has a great ending too. Vaughn sticks the ending on that. Do you remember it?
I don't. That's something that I should reread.
You really should.
I mean, I read that when it first came out, like 2012 or something. It was a long time ago.
2000. I think it was even earlier than that. I was in
Yeah, it may have been even earlier than that.
Yeah, dude. Ex Machina. Because I remember the first issue of Ex. Okay, spoilers for the first issue of Ex Machina. If you, well, no, I shouldn't say that. There's a moment at the end of the first issue of Ex Machina that just my jaw dropped when I first got to it. Do you remember that moment?
Nah, it's been. You know what? I need to reread it because it's been so long. I haven't.
Certain building,
I can't remember anything.
building, plane. Okay,
Don't remember it.
I'll shut up. I'm shutting up.
Oh, my BFF Matt Miranda didn't care for Ex Machina, but he'll try it again.
What? Matt, oh.
He and I generally have the same taste, so I'm surprised at that.
Same. I'm disappointed in that too. All right, Matt.
Yeah, Ex Machina is not the movie. We're talking about the comic, which is completely different than the movie.
It's all right, Matt. Yeah, the movie's fantastic. Ooh, you know what? You know what movie disappointed me the most this year that I went to see?
What movie?
What do you think?
What movie disappointed you?
Yeah, what do you think? What movie would disappoint me the most?
Oh my gosh, I can't even think of what movies were released this year.
That I went in with low expectations, and I still walked out going,
I'm gonna really kick myself when you tell me because I bet it's gonna be super obvious to me. Can you give me a hint? Was it a superhero flick or something different?
It was a superhero movie.
Oh, was it Wonder Woman?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, because I know you hated the kid in Wonder Woman.
Oh, we're gonna bring back that. Yeah, and I still hate her. I watched the 4K the other day, and I was like, "Yep, skipping through this scene." He still sucks at acting, even in 4K.
Well, no, I know you liked Logan.
Love Logan.
Yeah.
Film of the year.
And you liked Wonder Woman.
Yes, I did.
I hope it's not Spider-Man: Homecoming because that was great.
No, that was fun. I really enjoyed Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Okay, I haven't seen Thor. I liked Guardians. Justice League, you probably didn't. Was it Justice League?
It was Justice League.
Ah, okay. You had low expectations and it exceeded them.
No, low expectations, and it still didn't hit the bar.
It didn't hit the bar of your low expectations.
I walked in going, you know what? I know I didn't like Dawn of Justice. I know I thought Man of Steel was good the first half and then just went downhill quickly the second half for me. I'm going to set the bar as low as I possibly can. A turtle could jump this bar. And yet somehow Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon gophered the fucker right under that bar and went way below it. Oh my God. It wasn't terrible. It was not the steaming pile of horse crap on my front lawn that I thought it would be.
Uh-huh.
But it was okay. It's Justice League. I wanted this to be good.
Oh yeah, everybody wanted it to be good.
I really did. Honestly, I went in and I was like, I know this has had a lot of production problems. I know it's got a lot of issues going for it, you know, with the whole Zack Snyder thing, with his daughter and everything that unfortunately happened. Joss Whedon had to step in at the last minute, and I wanted it to be good. And at the end of the day, it was just kind of mediocre for me, and I fell asleep like halfway through it. And that was about my review of it.
Yeah, I saw it with a friend that doesn't really that liked comic books as a kid and loved Justice League as a kid. And I had to explain about half of it to him. And when you have to do that, that's not a good sign. When I had to explain half the movie to him, because he never saw Batman versus Superman, never saw The Man of Steel, didn't see Wonder Woman, which I'm almost ready to buy him a copy to make sure he sees Wonder Woman. But it was so heavy on origin telling on some of the characters and so heavy on continuity in the previous movies that's one thing I will say about Avengers movies is you can usually go into an Avengers movie and boom, you understand it. It doesn't require a lot of explanation. But I sat there for half the movie and had to explain to this guy, well, yeah, Superman's dead because blah blah blah, and Batman's got some issues, and this happened, and blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It I went with a friend of mine, my brother, and that friend's mom, because she really wanted to see it because she thinks Jason Momoa was hot.
Right. Even I think Jason Momoa is hot.
Oh man, I'm not bi or gay, but I'm like I'd totally go gay for Jason Momoa.
I don't know if I go that far, but I'm comfortable enough to say, yeah, Jason Momoa is hot.
He is a beautiful piece of man meat. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
But we went and saw it, and his mom was watching. She's like, we walked out of the theater, and we all went, "What'd you think?" She goes, "I didn't know what was happening through most of the movie. It just felt like it was a bunch of random stuff that just kept crashing into each other." And I'm like, "That's a problem."
Yeah, that is a problem.
And that I think is part of the reason why it's. Say what you will about the film, but it hasn't done that well in the box office. It was 92 million opening weekend in the US. This is Justice League.
Yeah.
This isn't like a small film. This isn't Wonder Woman. This isn't Flash or anything like that. This is their tentpole franchise. This is
right.
Sets up everything else, and for it to do so poorly in the box office, I'm like, that is a telling thing.
Yeah. Well, I think heads are rolling or have started to roll or got rolled at Warner Brothers, according to news reports about this. So they need to reboot the whole thing.
Yeah.
Although I have a severe crush on Superman. I will say that. I think he's a great Superman.
I think they did a really good job towards the end because we finally get to see Superman actually save somebody in an actually pretty humorous moment where Flash is saving that one truck.
Yeah.
And Superman comes out with the building. I was like, okay, you got something. You have a kernel of what Superman is supposed to be. You're starting to understand it. And truthfully, that felt more like a Joss Whedon thing more than a Zack Snyder thing.
Probably was.
So, but overall, I mean, I guess if I'd give it like a 5 out of 10, being generous. I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it. I went into it going, man, I really hope they pull this off. And for the most part, they didn't pull it off. Towards the end, it really pulled me back in, but that first half was putting me to sleep. And in fact, I was kind of pissed off because my brother who was sitting behind me is like throwing popcorn at me. I woke up and the Green Lantern scene was over, and I was like, fuck! That's all. Oh, I've got something to tell you. I wanted to tell you this actually. So, tiny spoilers for Last Jedi. Tiny spoilers. Okay, so you know the scene where Rey hands the lightsaber to Luke, right?
Yeah.
And he throws it over his shoulder.
Yeah.
I love that scene. In the back of my theater, this little nerd must have been heartbroken. Because the minute he threw that lightsaber over his shoulder, all I hear in the back of my theater is a blood-curdling scream of pain. Yes. You would think this man was stabbed in the nether regions. And how badly this scream felt. It was dead quiet, and all of a sudden we hear, ah! Nerd rage.
That's hilarious.
I'm sitting in my seat laughing like Emperor Palpatine go, good. It was just the amount of pain. I honestly, I don't know how can I describe it, but it really was just this nerd's heart broke inside his chest during that moment.
Oh my gosh. I thought that was funny. That was a funny moment. There were lots of funny moments in that movie. I liked it.
I started collecting hardcovers 20 plus years ago. Wow. We all start somewhere. That's impressive, actually. I love Henry Cavill as Superman. They'll retcon it with Flashpoint. Yeah, that's more than likely what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's fine.
The other thing, they need to get rid of As far as I'm concerned, they can get rid of everybody except Wonder Woman at this point.
Oh gosh, I love Superman though.
I think
cleft in his chin. He's so handsome.
you know what, Henry Cavill, if he's given the right material, I think he could pull it off.
Yeah.
I think he could. But as far as I'm concerned, everybody else can go. Although I did like Jason Momoa's Aquaman, his interpretation of
I'd be interested. Yeah, I'd be interested in seeing Aquaman the movie.
Comes out next year.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing that.
Yeah, he was pretty cool. He was a pretty cool character. I liked him a lot. So I guess if I were to have to keep anybody, it would be my two would be Aqua Bro and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, they're not getting rid of Wonder Woman. I can promise you that.
No. They will retcon everything else, but Wonder Woman stays.
Yeah.
And that's the money bringer right there.
Yep. Matt Miranda's asking about the Shadowland Omni. Yay or nay?
Shut your whore mouth.
I've heard that's awful, so I'm not going to get it.
If anybody wants to get it for me, I'll go ahead and review it, but I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
We need a new Flash. I like the Flash TV show, Flash.
Yeah, I do too. I don't know why they don't just stick with him.
Do we have any other questions here? Or is it people talking about watching the Cavs game? CGI mustache?
Is the plural Omnibus? Oh God, this.
Oh gosh.
Don't we usually get this like every other week?
I've heard people say Omnibus. I've seen people go. I just say Omni and Omnis because I've heard Omnibuy, Omnibuses, Omnibus.
I just go with
I've heard Omnibuy. I just go Omnis. I haven't seen Blade Runner 2049. Have you?
Me?
Yeah.
I loved it.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's tied for Logan. For me as my favorite.
Really?
It's tied for Logan as my favorite.
I think I want to see the director's cut of Blade Runner and then see Blade Runner 2049 because I haven't seen the original Blade Runner since it came out.
Jeez, Jess.
I know. We know how long ago that was.
No, I absolutely adored Blade Runner 2049. I think in certain areas, Blade Runner is one of my favorite, if not my favorite film of all time. And I think in certain areas, it's better.
Wow.
Yeah.
Biggie Cheese asks about Magneto comics.
Ooh, there was a mini.
Besides Cullen Bunn's run.
I was going to say there was a miniseries a few years ago that told about Magneto's childhood.
Magneto Testament is good. It tells about his time in the concentration camp.
That's the one.
Is that the one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really good. I like Magneto Testament. That's more Riley's bailiwick, but I can say that I read Magneto Testament. Where is my little knot of Magneto books?
He plays a huge part later on in Grant Morrison's run.
Yeah. In New X-Men?
Mm-hmm. Other good Magneto. This is a Riley question. Riley will be able to point you out.
Donny Cates' new book, Through Vault, was awesome. I know Donny Cates' new Thanos book is great.
There's a new Thanos book?
Yeah, Jeff Lemire did Thanos for 12 issues, and it was great. And then
Really?
Donny Cates just wrote issues 13 and 14. I read issue 13. It was great. Riley conned me into getting those singles. I got those on Comixology.
What's the deal going on with Jim Starlin right now with Thanos?
Yeah, he said that Donny Cates had the same idea he did for Thanos, and so he left Marvel. I'm sure there's more to it, but that's all that we ever hear.
Yeah, like he was supposed to be writing a Thanos like event story or something like that, but then it fell through, and now he's not, or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. He left, and it didn't sound like it was under good circumstances. Matt Miranda, we taking a field trip to Vegas for some signing at Gabe's shop.
Jeez.
I will be at Gabe's shop for an hour, and then the other 23 hours I will be at strip clubs. So sure, let's go to that signing.
Followed by an hour at the Pawn Stars place.
Oh, are they in Vegas?
They're in Vegas. I'm pretty
sure. That'd be cool.
I've heard that they're never there, though. They probably don't need to be at this point.
And Matt is down. I definitely want to fly out for the Adam Hughes signing. That has not been not a definite yet, but I definitely want to go out to get Adam Hughes to sign something.
Jeez, yeah. Gabe's Torpedo Comics, for those of you that don't know, is where Gabe works at now. And he posted up just the amount of signings and creators they're going to get. It's insane.
Yeah, they get really high-end Jim Lee type guys all the time, every month.
God. I heard the shop is tiny too. I've never been there, so I don't know.
I don't know. It's got an enormous amount of CGC books. That's where you go to find great CGC books.
Gabe owes us a live stream from a strip club. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it, but Gabe told me once when he was visiting me a story about him going to a strip club where they had to sit on milk crates.
Was that the midget wrestling one?
That was the midget wrestling one, yeah.
Oh.
He went to a strip club once for midget wrestling night, and they had to sit on milk crates.
So that is not my jam. I want the highest level, prettiest girl type things where I bring thousands of dollars and throw it at them. Oh, Pawn Stars is tiny.
Oh, yeah, I've heard that shop is pretty small too. It's 24 hours. But those guys they don't have to be there because they're making hand over fist on that TV show.
Yeah. Frank Miller has a Superman comic planned?
What?
I don't know that I heard that. Is that right? Do you know any more about that, Biggie Cheese?
I mean, I have a Superman comic planned too, but it doesn't mean I should write it. Oh, poor Frank Miller.
I don't know.
Did you ever get around to reading
No.
Dark Knight 3?
Which one?
Did you ever get around to reading Dark Knight 3?
Oh no, gosh, it's like I'm looking at it right now. It's got such mixed reviews. I really need to read it and judge for myself. But I've been here's the latest. Here's what I've read. Here's what I read right before Christmas. I read Black Hammer, the event.
Nick keeps telling me I need to read that.
Oh my God, it's so good, Luis.
Mm-hmm.
God Country, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And Kate Bishop Hawkeye.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, these are really good. She's a great character. I really like her. Those are the books I read right before Christmas.
Those are fun stuff. Those are good books. Yeah, I've heard mixed things about Dark Knight 3, The Master Race. For the most part, all I know is that Brian Azzarello was the one that really wrote it.
Yeah. Can you show us? Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Kind of scratchy. It's that scratchy kind of artwork. But it's such a good story. I'm going to do a review on this. It is a wonderful story.
Ooh, I like that. Who's the artist?
And it's billed as an you file it under Epic Texan Battle Fantasy. Let's see. Let me see who the artist is. Just a sec. The artist is Jeff Shaw, spelled Geoff Shaw. Here's some more. It's about an old guy that has Alzheimer's, and all of a sudden the sword of a god falls into his hand, and it cures him of his Alzheimer's and turns him into a bit of a god himself. And he gets involved in god battles, and it's awesome.
That sounds pretty badass.
Oh my gosh, it's so good, Luis. I think you'd love it. It is such a good book.
Is that one of those $9.99 image trades?
It was $16.99. So yeah, for a big thick book like this, that's a good price.
Well, that's not a small one. Okay.
No, yeah, $16.99. It was a 6-issue arc, and I think those 6 issues were fairly thick. It has great art, great action, great writing, blah blah blah. It's really good. You should get it.
I will definitely be putting that on my radar. Thank you. I have so much to catch up on. The downside of being so far behind now is I have a wealth of things to catch up to. I can just pick things and go, oh, I haven't read this. Let me take a look at this. So I'm looking forward to finally being a little bit more stable and being able to pick some things up.
Yeah, I guarantee you on God Country you'd like that. I'll give you your money back on that too if you don't like it.
I don't think you're gonna have to. That sounds like that. Literally sounds up right up my alley.
And Black Hammer, I think, is up your alley too. It's a beautiful homage to Silver Age and Jack Kirby comics. But it's its own comic. It's really well done.
I've always heard comparisons to Hellboy. Is that any?
It has nothing to do with Hellboy.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Yeah, it's like it's got.
No, I don't see a trace of Hellboy in this book. There's tons of EC and DC Silver Age references, lots of Galactus and Fantastic Four type references, all Silver Age kind of stuff, mystery and space type characters. But whoever told you Hellboy, they're going to have to explain that to me because I didn't pick up on any Hellboy whatsoever.
This is Jeff Lemire's project, right? This is
correct.
His universe?
Yeah. And it's got a lot going for it. What a compelling story it's telling, and it seems almost jokey because it's so Silver Age goofy, but it's really grounded and really, really amazing. This was one book. This is probably the only book I read this year where when I got to the end of the first trade paperback and it ended on a cliffhanger, I was like, F word, I can't wait for the second one.
You know, when I get my finance, I know you're not a manga person, but when I get my finances in order, I'm going to send you a volume of My Hero Academia because I think you would enjoy it.
Oh, okay.
There's only 10 volumes out, so it's super short right now. But I really do think it's right up your alley. You would enjoy something like that.
Okay. It's your money.
It's that guarantee. I promise you. You can send it back to me. I really do think you'll enjoy it.
Okay, I will. If you send it to me, I will read it the day I get it.
Okay.
Jess, is the next issue of Postal the last one? That is a good question. That's what I've heard, but I don't have it like from the writer himself.
What is Postal? Because I saw you talking about it the other day.
Oh, Postal. That was in my top 5 of books for 2017 by Matt Hawkins.
Okay.
It is, I think, a Top Cow Image book. It is about a town called Eden, Wyoming that's off the map. I'm sounding kind of nasally now. I'm a little stuffed up. It's off the map. The FBI created it to put criminals after they serve their sentence go there to disappear, and it's run by criminals for criminals, but you can't have any criminal activity there. If you murder somebody, the penalty is immediate death. Boom, they hang you the next day. They want no crime, no trouble. They want just to live off the map and quietly. And Postal is about this kid. He's the son of the mayor. He's on the spectrum. He has Asperger's, and he works in the post office. And there's 2 or 3. It's a 5-volume series so far. There are 2 or 3 crimes he helps solve in his sort of analytical Asperger's way. He has no real social skills. He's still interested in the opposite sex, but he doesn't know how to do it. There's a woman kept in a cage there, like Anthony Hopkins' character in Silence of the Lambs. She's so dangerous, they keep her in a cage. She tries to seduce the guy. The guy's in love with the waitress. There's a sheriff, and of course the mayor's this cutthroat woman that's the mother of this son. And it is one of my best books of 2017. It's got 5 volumes so far. I think it does finish coming soon, but it's fantastic. I loved Postal.
You have got me sold on. I love the premise of it.
Yeah, it's really cool.
That's something that you definitely have me interested in it, especially the whole, yeah, we're just gonna dump all these people here. Like, be done with it. We don't want to deal with you. You're terrible. Let yourself figure it out.
Yeah, and they have a very it shouldn't work, but they have a small little society that does work. And if you murder somebody, it's easy to figure out who it is because it's such a tiny little town. And man, boom, that's considered the ultimate crime, and they deal with you harshly. So they have a really low crime rate, even though they're all criminals. They pretty much just want to be left alone. So, and for him to figure out these puzzles and solve these crimes, or figure out how to get out of certain jams that the town might find itself in, it's really interesting to see how his mind operates. And it's part of a trilogy that's set in the same universe as another book called The Tithe, which deals with hacking into corrupt churches. That's got 3 trade paperbacks, I think. And then the other one is Think Tank, which is great. It's about this incredible genius that's hired by our government to make weapons. And he decides to revolt against. He gets a conscience and decides he doesn't want to make weapons that kill anymore. And both the Think Tank and Tithe, about 1/3 of the book is the research this guy Matt Hawkins does to back up the story about hacking and weapons and places where this stuff happens. All the research he does is at least as interesting as the comic book itself. The Tithe is really great, and so is Think Tank. You don't have to read them to enjoy Postal, but it's a fun benefit that they're set in the same. They call it the Edenverse. It's set in the same universe.
So it's Postal, Think Tank, and what was the other one?
Tithe.
The Tithe?
Yeah.
Okay, Amazon right now. Can't buy it yet, but all right. Classic dynamic duo. Can this be a Wednesday thing? Hey, I wouldn't mind actually making it a Wednesday thing where we just take questions. But I know you're super busy. You've already got the Tuesday show and the Thursday show.
Monday and Thursday, but this isn't a problem. It's not like I'm going out night clubbing at night. So, I mean, if somebody wants to do it again, it's fine with me.
I wouldn't mind doing it. Wednesday should be fine with me.
Yeah, and then there's a special one-shot called Eden's Fall that ties all 3 of the books together. That's included in one of the books. I think maybe the Tithe 3 or something, or Think Tank 5. It's really good.
Matt Miranda, I'll be here always. Matt, you're a mod. Well, you're a mod on my channel. For some reason, I decided to make Matt Miranda and Nick Munoz moderators on my channel, and went at each other. Nick Munoz's first act as a moderator on my channel was to ban Matt Miranda for like 20 minutes.
That's awesome.
I'm holding so many trades, I lost count. Man, I'm so behind on things. Jeez, I really need to catch up on a few things once I get a chance. What else? What have I been reading? I'm trying to. You've read way more than me. I'm trying to think what else have I been reading throughout the year. Mostly manga. Mostly manga related. Started One Piece. Started Hunter x Hunter. Started the past year. I read Akira.
Oh, I need to read that.
You have the Shakira box set.
Yeah, I do.
I read
Shakira.
Akira over the summer, did that. Which Akira I loved. I think you'll enjoy Akira.
Good. Yeah, I'm up for it.
Next year we get 20th. Ooh, that's right. Okay, for those of you out there, the book I'm most excited for next year is the reprints of 20th Century Boys. We're getting hardcovers for those.
Okay, keep talking about that. I got to go get my charger now.
Okay. For those of you out there that don't know, 20th Century Boys sets around, and I've talked about this before. 20th Century Boys sets around a group of kids that live in Japan. At the start of the story, it takes place. Man, it's been a while since I've read it. I think it's in the 1970s, if I'm not mistaken, and you follow the kids around. And like all kids do, they create up these stories, they write out these things. Oh, this is how the world would end. You know, it'd be robots, it'd be lasers, it'd be all these things. And then you flash forward into the future, and one of the kids dies. One of the kids ends up dying through certain circumstances. I'm not going to get into what here. He commits suicide. And that brings all of these kids together. What they start realizing is that there's this cult leader that's starting to rise up in power. And this cult leader is called the Friend. Now, the Friend is basically doing everything that the kids said they would do when they were kids. You know, he's basically everything that's happening that all the kids planned out as like a game when they were kids is happening. And the Friend is acting on them. So this group of adults now has to go and figure out who this character is, who the Friend is, how he knows all the games and stuff like that, and all the stuff that they had planned out as kids, and how that ties into the future. It's awesome. 20th Century Boys is fantastic, man. It's so fucking good. It's one of those books that if you're a fan of kind of like Stephen King's It, one of my favorite writing tropes and reading tropes is seeing what happens to kids when they are kids and then flash forwarding and seeing their life in the future and seeing what their actions did as kids and how that affects their future. It's a trope that I really like. Steve Robert Cargill uses it in his book Streams and Shadows. Stephen King does it in It, things like that. You see that the kids, they grow up. Some of them have successful lives. Some of them don't. Some of them end up in prison. Some of them end up really fucked up. And some of them end up in bad marriages. And this group of people come together and they have to figure out who is this Friend? How can we stop them? And the book spans across 3 different time periods. It's fantastic. It's a great mystery. And it's something that just hooks you and it keeps you in until the very end of the story. I don't know how many volumes the new 20th Century Boys will be. 20th Century Boys is, I think it's 24 volumes altogether, because you have, it's been a while, the first 22 volumes are 20th Century Boys, and the last 2 volumes are 21st Century Boys, and that wraps up everything. Yeah, there's 24 volumes, if I'm not mistaken.
That's a lot of volumes.
Yeah, but I'm sure they'll condense it. It'll probably be like 3-in-1s for the hardcovers. So if we're talking about 3-in-1s, 24 volumes, maybe 9 volumes total.
There's Nick Munoz. He's ready to kick Matt out. Hello, Nick.
10,000 things yet.
Hello, Nick.
I secretly think Nick is Matt Munoz's Newman.
Right. Hello, Newman. He has no power here.
Just make Matt a moderator.
Oh, this is your show. I don't know. Yeah. Well, I don't care. Whatever. How do you make him a moderator?
You go over his name and you see those 3 little dots. You can make him a moderator by clicking on it, and it'll give you that power.
3 dots? What 3 dots? Oh, those 3 dots.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whoops. I almost made John P. a moderator.
No, no, no. That's no.
This just says go to channel or report.
What? You should be able to make him a moderator.
You know what? I'm not in charge of this channel. I just signed into it. It may be somebody who's I think Gabe is actually in charge of this channel. He just loaned me the password.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think I can make anybody a moderator.
Ooh. I'll talk to Gabe.
John P. moderator. Fuck yes.
No.
I don't think so.
No. It would just be Howard Stern trivia.
Howard Stern and Cleveland Cavaliers.
I used to collect punk vinyl records. Oh, cool.
Me too.
What do you have as far as punk goes?
Just punk singles and LPs from back in the day, way back in the day, 1980 through 87 probably, that I collected stuff.
Nine volumes. Oh, 9 volumes isn't that bad. You guys collect 9 volumes of crap all the time. 9 volumes is not that bad in terms of collecting stuff. Now 30. Now, if you want to get into really long mangas, you can get into One Piece. That's 86 volumes.
Oh my gosh, is that what Riley's into?
Yeah, Riley likes One Piece. I think there's like 86 volumes now at this point. It's one giant story. And guess what? Jess, the writer, says he's only about halfway done.
Oh my god. Yeah, I do have Descendants records. I have Milo Goes to College and another one. Chastity Cakes asked Descendants records. Yes.
86 volumes is insane. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure Riley has all 86 volumes at this point.
Probably, yeah. He's got a whole nice closet full of manga.
Mm-hmm. I'd rather be dead than read One Piece. It's a fun manga. Punk records were the best investment I ever made. Are they an investment, in your opinion?
I don't know. I just collected them because I liked listening to them.
Have you ever looked back on the prices of some of those? Because vinyl is back, man.
Yeah, I should. I will. Although I don't know why I would sell my Descendants records or my sold one record for $2,500. Oh,
damn.
Jess is "I Will Dare" one of the best songs ever. I'm assuming that beat means best, so I will say yes. I love the Replacements' "I Will Dare." I doubt I have any records worth $2,500.
You never know.
No, I guess I could look. I have some pretty rare things, but I don't think I had very many rare things. It was just stuff I like to listen to.
What is the so you're into the vinyl scene. What is considered the crown jewel of vinyl collectors? Like, what is that one thing that everybody wants?
You mean one piece of vinyl?
Mm-hmm. That's like the crown jewel of everybody.
Gosh, I don't know. I actually don't know. William Shatner sings. I don't know.
You know what?
I don't know.
I want to see that, actually.
Sell me on Luther Strode. I'm on the fence. Oh my gosh. Let me get my Luther Strode so I can show you artwork. It's badass.
Fantastic.
Taylor Brown asks, sell me on Luther Strode. I'm on the fence. This is a great story about a guy that gets his powers from the back of a comic book. He gets sent these special powers and he turns into this super kick-ass badass dude, but it comes with a catch, of course. He has to figure out, somebody comes after him to make him part of their special plan. He doesn't want to. All he wants is justice, and they're relentless. He fights criminal after criminal, but then he ends up having to fight all these guys that get sent towards him as a result of answering the ad in the back of the magazine. It is bloody mayhem. that is just super cool. See the guy and the bald guy with the beard and the fun bow tie comes after him, and all these super powered guys come after him, and it's just fantastic. It's bloody, over the top, but with real heart, because what he really wants, Luther Strode wants, is justice. And it's awesome. So you can see him pulverizing some bones right there.
So I'm looking online right now. You'll never guess what the most expensive vinyl is.
Hit me.
It's by Elvis, I'll tell you that much.
Really?
Yeah. Well, according to this website. This thing will stop loading with its bullshit. Pop.
Forgerelli says Vinyl Grail for Pop is Beatles Butcher cover. I actually have a story about that. That's the Yesterday and Today album, and it shows the Beatles sitting on steamer trunks. The original Yesterday and Today had them sitting on steamer trunks with bloody baby doll parts all over them that they were holding, because they hated the way the U.S. cut up their albums and put them in different order than the original English pressing. So that was their protest, that they were cutting up their babies.
Wow.
So that came out for a hot second, and Capitol Records immediately said, we've made a huge mistake, recalled all the albums, and slapped over the Butcher Block album, the album that we now see, with them just sitting nicely on some steamer trunks. And then that album started coming out with just that picture, them sitting on the steamer trunks. So the Grail is to get the bloody baby Butcher Blocks one. The second Grail is to get the pasted over cover, which is hard to find. And when I was back in the 90s doing my TV show here locally, I had a record collector on. I did 34 episodes. It was called Collector Showcase. I had various collectors on, and this one record collector, this is the most unbelievable story, because that album is worth probably now tens of thousands of dollars. That Butcher Block album, so few of them were released out into the wild.
Wow.
In America. So he was telling me how this was in the 90s, and he said it was like the year before. So let's see, my daughter was born in 91, she was 2, so 93. So this was the early 90s. He went to a yard sale at a church. Somebody had the Butcher Block album original for $0.10. He had no money on him. He didn't even have a dime on him.
Oh my God.
So he had to go out into the church parking lot, and he started combing through the gravel in the church parking lot looking for coins. He rustled up like 9 or 10 cents in coins, went in there and got the album for $0.10 or 9 cents or whatever he found. And it's at the time it was worth $3,000, and who knows what it's worth now.
Oh my goodness. Man. So I'm looking at this list right now. Okay, so the most expensive vinyl that that was ever sold was Wu-Tang Clan, Once Upon a Time in Shaolin, because that was like 2 or 3 years.
Oh, that's the Pharma Bro album.
Yeah, that was the Pharma Bro album.
Oh, that shouldn't count.
No, that doesn't count at all. The Beatles, the White Album, sold for $790,000.
What was so special about this particular White Album?
This is the thing. For years, Beatles drummer Ringo Starr was known to own the very first copy of the band's self-titled double album from 1968. Since the records were printed with serial numbers in sequence, and Starr's copy bears the number 0000001, he eventually sold his copy at Julian's auction in the U.S. for $790,000. In December 2015, again, to an unnamed buyer, along with his famous Ludwig drum set, which was bought by Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay for a whopping $2.2 million.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
Yeah, because of the serial number and because it was Ringo's. The one behind that was Elvis Presley's "My Happiness," which sold for 300,000. You also know he's in vintage gear. What about the? This is Elvis Presley's first ever recording. That's why. That's why it's so much. And there's Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band for $290,000, but it was signed by all four Beatles.
Oh, I can see how that. Whoa, all four Beatles. Wow.
Beatles, and it's an original 1967 pressing.
I have that album, but it's not signed by all four Beatles.
Yeah.
It's not even signed by me.
Particularly, this album though is especially special because if it's the mono version with the black Parlophone label. I don't know what that means.
Oh, okay.
But if one signature, I don't know what it means. But if one signature can dramatically increase the value of a record, then imagine what four can do. In this case of this copy sold at an auction in 2013 to a buyer in Midwest America. The auctioneer had an estimated sale in the range of $30,000 and were stunned when the item ended up selling for nearly 10 times the amount.
Wow.
So what does that mean?
Well, it used to be back in the old days, mono was a record would put out sound through one speaker, and that was mono. And it just was both channels mixed together. Stereo came out, and that was two channels coming at you, and it sounded more lifelike with two channels of sound. That was stereo. So if it came out in mono, that was an early pressing that was quickly replaced by stereo, because by 1966 or 67, everybody had a stereo and was listening to albums through two speakers. You were supposed to sit in the middle of the speakers pointing at you, and that would create the sound effect of live music.
Mm-hmm.
So, whereas one channel mono would just be all the sound coming right out at you. So the Parlophone was an English label. Mono was coming out of one speaker, so I would assume that is a very rare vinyl record, where I don't even know why they would put it out on mono at that particular point. Like when they first started making albums, the Beatles, mono was more popular.
Apparently they only put out a select few of them.
Yeah, I can imagine.
John Lennon and Yoko Ono's Double Fantasy, $150,000. They can keep that shit.
I didn't see that. Where's that?
Oh,
you're reading it on the internet.
Yeah. Jesus, I'm looking at that cover for the Beatles Yesterday and Today.
Oh, yeah. Do they show a picture of it?
Yeah, I can totally see why people will be a little bit angry. One of the more rarer items is the Beatles compilation from 1966, released only in North America initially and then later in Japan, but not in the UK or Europe. One of the reasons for its relative scarcity is that the early versions featured the infamous Butcher cover, with John, Paul, George, and Ringo draped in dismembered dolls and pieces of meat. It was swiftly redrawn and replaced with much more tame artwork. But the original remains a sought-after item for Beatles collectors, and a mint edition sealed copy became the most expensive copy of the record in history when it sold at an auction for, wow. You don't have any of these, do you, Jess?
No. Nick asks, who's the first artist I can remember hearing? I think Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young, Deja Vu was the first album I remember making an impact on me when I was probably 10 years old. That was back in 1969, 1970, somewhere around there. I was 10 or 11.
Who's the first? Phil Collins for me.
Okay.
Yeah, Phil Collins is, and that's going way back. My mom used to play Phil Collins in the back when I was riding in the car with her all the time. Let's see. Apex Twins, The Beatles. There's a lot of Beatles stuff here, man. The Beatles, Till There Was You, Tommy Johnson, Alcohol and Jake Blues, and Frank Wilson, Do I Love You? Indeed, I do. Interesting.
Yeah, I don't have anything rare. I do have a Bizarro album. The Bizarro record plays backwards. That's cool. But it's not worth anything, really.
Have you ever done the Pink Floyd thing with Wizard of Oz?
I haven't. I've heard it's really cool, that it really works for like the first 10 minutes.
And then it falls out of sync, right?
Right. Oh, John P. knows Deja Vu. John P.'s the man. He knows underground music from the 80s like I do. I just sent him Justice League by Grant Morrison, so he likes good comic books. He likes Howard Stern. John P., we may have been separated at birth, except you were born in like 1980 or 1984.
I haven't listened to Howard Stern in so long. You know what I just got back into listening to, since we're kind of just all over the place right now? Did you ever hear Coast to Coast with Art Bell?
Oh, I know who he is, yeah.
Yeah, I got used to listening. I've been listening to some of those old recordings and stuff, because a lot of his older stuff is on YouTube, and like, just, it's entertaining stuff. I don't take it for serious, but it's pretty fun stuff.
Yeah, Art Bell's famous.
Oh, we saw a UFO the other night.
For real?
For real, for real. I'm not joking. We were driving home the other night from my family's get together, and we were off on the 528. And all of a sudden, I feel the hairs on the right side of my arm standing up. I look at the corner of my eye, and I see like this weird spinning disc, and it just goes, and it flew right by us. Dude, I'm not kidding, Jess. My fiance was sitting in the car next to me, and she goes, "Holy fuck, did you just see that?" And I go, "You saw it too, right? I'm not going crazy. Like, that just flew right by us, right?" She goes, "Yes." Freaked me out.
Hmm.
I'm not going crazy. I swear.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I am a little crazy.
Well, Luis has lost his mind, so it's probably time for us to end this chat.
Riley Martin? Who's Riley Martin? I think he's the one.
He was on Howard Stern's show. He was a nut.
Oh, was he really?
Tolga, take care. Thanks for watching the show. 4:23 a.m. Ay, ay, ay.
Dude.
That's a dedicated fan.
Yeah. Once you go aliens, I peace out. Good night. Night, Nick. Fine. Jeez.
We're losing John P. too. The Cavs game started.
All right. You think it's about time we end it? We've been going for a while.
Yes, I miss Eric the little person too.
Who's Eric the little? Oh, Howard Stern.
Eric the actor, yeah, on Howard Stern.
Is Beetlejuice still alive?
Yeah, he is.
Really?
Amazingly.
I thought he died.
No, he's still there.
Whatever happened with him and Artie? They had a falling out, right?
Yeah, Artie said, well, Howard won't address it on the air, but Artie said some stuff about him last year or maybe earlier this year, some trashy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, John P., you just can't pull yourself away. Yeah, Eric the actor's the one who died a couple of years ago. But yeah, Artie said some trashy stuff about Howard, and so you don't hear any more Artie references on the show, which is too bad. He was a funny character. Yeah, Artie makes me sad too. He was a really funny guy. Artie's in jail? John P.,
Wait,
elaborate. How do you know that?
Is he really? I thought he was
John P. just said.
I thought he was in rehab trying to clean himself up.
I thought so too. I didn't know he was in jail. He can't leave now. He started talking to Howard Stern.
I didn't know he was in jail. I thought he was in rehab.
Can you research that real quick?
Yeah, let me see what I can pull up. He got
caught with drugs.
That doesn't surprise me.
Oh, that makes me really sad.
This article was posted 5 days ago. Okay.
Talking about comics, Charlie Rogers just got the first 2 trades of Sandman. That's awesome. Sandman's one of the best things you can read.
Wow. Oh my God. His mugshot for this year. Jesus. Dude, he looks like he's in rough shape.
He had 87 bags of heroin.
This year, he's has been arrested 3 times this year alone, twice for drug possession and once for missing a court date. He's a comedian. Posted a photo of himself this month. Belly swollen. Dude, he is a mess.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Did you see the photo?
No. I'm just following what they're saying in the chat.
Past, which includes battles with drug addiction. Man, that's really sad.
Oh, that is rough.
Some guys can never kick the habit. Following the cancellation of his direct TV show. He had a direct TV show?
He's been doing a radio show with Anthony from Opie and Anthony. How the mighty have fallen. Wow.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah. He almost died this year.
He did?
Yeah.
Can you send me the link in the PM me the link in the Facebook?
I'll send it to you after. On July, Lang was rushed to the hospital and had emergency surgery in his chest after he collapsed after performing stand-up in Chicago and claimed he was hours from death.
Oh my gosh, that's awful.
So he has a show on September 5th, 2000. Lang co-hosted his new show, The Artie and Anthony Show, on the latter's online subscription. Oh, so you have to subscribe to this shit. Use myself and decided to bring. Okay, so he has his own apparently like podcasting, but you have to subscribe to like a website to hear it.
Huh.
I'm not doing that.
Oh, he had a show in Akron and John P. was going to go, but he canceled it.
That's disappointing.
That's really bad. That's so sad. Artie was such a talent. He was so damn funny.
Oh,
funny.
I started watching Riverdale.
Oh, did you?
Yes. You know what? Between me, you, and the Omnibros, I kind of like it.
I love it.
It's not that bad.
It's great. I love it. It's full of evil conspiring adults.
I don't tell Tyler this, but it's actually pretty good.
Tyler, who? Blunt or Chew?
Blunt.
He doesn't like it?
He loves it. He was the one that got me on it. And for the longest time, I was like, this looks terrible. He goes, no, dude, you got to give it a chance. And I'm like, I don't want to. And you know what? The other day I was sitting down. I was like, all right, let's give this a shot. I binged like the first 3 episodes. I'm like, this is actually pretty interesting.
Veronica is smoking hot.
Oh, jeez. Yeah. Yeah, she's gorgeous.
The whole show is amazing.
Like the whole murder mystery thing, I'm like, this has actually got me pretty intrigued. I'm hooked. I want to see where this goes. And I dig the fact that they've taken these classic characters and kind of done modern day interpretations of them.
Yeah. Oh, I think it's really well done.
Like they make, I think his name is Bull. I think he's gay, or they imply he's gay.
Oh, Moose.
Yeah, Moose.
Yeah, he wants to do the stuff with Kevin Keller except kissing. Let's do all the stuff except kissing.
The only one I'm not 100%, it's early on, the only one I'm not 100% sold on is Jughead yet. But I've heard he grows.
Oh, Juggy's great.
I heard he grows on you as the series goes.
He does, yeah. Definitely does.
Mr. Robot is a great show. I like that one. I'm listening to all of 2007 Stern shows currently, and it's amazing. Jesus.
When the actual show itself gets derailed into Stern Show talk, that is a major win. Yeah, you got us both talking about Artie.
All right, it's 10:35 over here. You ready to call this?
Yep.
All right, Jess, do your thing.
Okay, Luis, where can they find you on YouTube and other social media?
You can pretty much find me at Comics Guide 101. I haven't posted anything in a while, and I've been super busy because I've started a new job. Should be able to maybe get something out within the next week, but no promises as of this moment. Super busy, so.
Great. You can find me, OmniDog's Vault, on YouTube, and my daughter just called me today and is bugging me to send her pictures so she can start my Instagram. So I'm going to take pictures of everything I've read recently and my Christmas haul, and we'll get Instagram started by the end of the week. So thank you guys for tuning in. You can see both Luis and I on the Omnibus Collectors Comic Swap and Community page on Facebook. And that's it. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll talk to you later.
Have a good night. Bye.
Peace and love. Peace and love.